You know as well that this session is going to be recorded, and it's going to be uploaded afterwards onto our YouTube channel, and all that information will be found at the end of the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so let's begin talking about the Wong Centre. First, we're going to do a land acknowledgement that Acadia University is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq Nation. So what is the Wong International Centre? Well, it's known as your home away from home. And a little bit about the history. It was actually named after Dr. Jean Wong, who was the first student of Chinese descent to graduate from Acadia. He was actively involved in humanitarian efforts and received an honorary degree from Acadia in 1996. And it was in 1997 that he actually paved the way to establish the Wong International Centre with his vision of creating a home away from home. And the center itself is open to everyone, including domestic students, and we foster an inclusive community for all. We're in the 27th year of operation, and the center itself you can use for hanging out. We have a living and dining area. You can cook here and prepare your meals. It's actually a study space as well, with lots of games and activities. So another question we're asked, what do we do here? Well, here's just a small list of the things that we cover. Everything from student advising and we offer general advice on university and community services and advocacy support from the staff here at the Wong Centre. And we also do immigration advising, and we cover things like study permit renewals and extensions, co-op work permits, TRV, ETAs, and postgraduate work permits. We're here for student advocacy. We also have an Acadia International Mentor Program. This is well, you'll hear a little bit more about that as we go on with this presentation. We have information sessions throughout the year. We also have a big international banquet held in March of every year, and that's always a really exciting time. We host events and workshops throughout the year, and we also have income tax support. We're here at the center, the staff, from 8:30 to 4:30, but the actual house itself is open 7 days a week, 8:30 in the morning until 10 p.m. So the staff here at the Wong Centre, we have Diana Joannis. She's the manager of International Student Affairs. And Rudrash Janki is coordinator of events and programming. And Sadia, who you've just met, she's our International Education Program Officer intern. And then there's me, Janet Hurnham. And I'm the International Student Advisor. And in this photo, you can see a picture of Buddy, who looks very unhappy, but he's actually a very, very happy dog. And he's our honorary staff member. So some of you may be interested in this program. It's the Acadia International Mentor Program, and it pairs first-year international students with upper year international or Canadian students in a similar field of study. And it's a great program because it when you're paired with your mentor, they can provide ongoing advice throughout the term and with information about life at Acadia and information about Wolfville in general. And it helps build your connections within the Acadia community. So we will have mentee applications available soon. So just keep an eye out for your emails, and when it's ready, we'll post it for you to apply. So we also have a pre-arrival guide. It's still in progress, but it will be available soon, and you'll be notified. And this guide covers everything from coming to Canada and what to expect, and also your arrival at Acadia, the student services that are offered here at Acadia, living in Wolfville, and also health and wellness. And of course, some students, of course, what I wish I knew. And that's a really interesting column and can be very helpful. So when this is ready, we will send it out and let you know. So if you're thinking, what should you be doing before you arrive in January? Well, some of the big things to think about and do right now, register for your courses. You can do that by reaching out or going onto your portal actually, or you can also contact the registrar's office. And next Wednesday, October the 9th, the registrar's office will actually be joining us for a pre-arrival session. So mark that on your calendar. If you haven't done so already, please register for residence. And if you're not living in residence, make sure you have confirmed housing. Whether you're on or off campus, because we're in a bit of a housing crisis here in the Wolfville area. And you should just make sure before you arrive on campus, you have somewhere accommodations already arranged. The other good thing you can do is attend our pre-arrival sessions. They're held every Wednesday, straight through to the end of November. And if you haven't done so already, please apply for your study permit. We will be having a free airport pickup service with a welcome desk, and for arrivals in early January. Residence will be opening on Saturday, January the 4th. So again, more information on that will be coming very soon. And if you have any questions, you can always email us at international@acadiau.ca. Other thing you should do, follow us on Instagram. This is where all of our events and programming are posted daily, sometimes hourly. And it's a really good source of information. And that's Acadia International Centre. And so yeah, follow us. As well, so here again is the staff at the Wong International Centre with our contact information. And you can find all this contact information at Acadia International on the website. So some important links for you. The Wong International Centre, we have a YouTube channel, and this is where this pre-arrival session is going to be posted today or tomorrow. And all the other sessions that we've held throughout the past year has been uploaded on the YouTube channel, as well as some immigration information on study permits, postgraduate work permits, things like that that may interest you. So if you Google Acadia University Wong International Centre, you'll find our YouTube channel. And again, any questions you may have, please contact us at international@acadiau.ca. And that concludes our session. It was a bit brief, but we'll be adding more information as the pre-arrival sessions go on. So I'm going to stop sharing now so Doten can begin his information session. And there's Doten. So Doten, you can start your session anytime now.
I'm so sorry. I had issues with my internet. It just went off. So I hope I didn't miss much. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from different part of the world. My name is Dotun Olutoke. I'm the coordinator, the Office of African Descent Student Opportunities and Success. And I will be sharing my screen and see how this goes well. Give me a minute, please. All right. I believe you can see my screen right now. All right. Thank you, Sadia. So today I'll be sharing with you briefly uh, about what we do at the Office of African Descent Students Opportunities and Success to enhance our student experience. So at the Office of African Descent Students Opportunities and Success, we are committed to supporting the personal and academic success of Black students of African descent. We have a student population from different demographic. We have Black international students. we have Black Canadian students, and we have African Nova Scotian students. So our students are drawn from different parts of the world. As you might have been told, Acadia has representation from over 60 countries of the world. And in my role, I lead the development and implementation of different programs, to support student success. And our office is located in this beautiful building. It's called Rhodes Hall. It's very you can't miss it on campus. So when you arrive in Acadia, be on the lookout for this building. Uh, for us, one of our key mandates is to support student success. And in this building, uh, we have the Black Student Lounge. Just like we have a space in the Wong Center, we also have a Black Student Lounge in the Rhodes Hall. And in this building, we have a computer that you can use if you need to print. We are one of the few places on campus where you can print for free. We have a kettle in that building where you can make quick tea if it's cold in the morning. We have snacks and drinks provided for free also. And if you are in between classes and you need to eat your lunch, we have a microwave, and we have different items also in the fridge. And the Black Student Lounge essentially is a space that is dedicated for Black students, and it's a safe place where students hang out and relax. It's a place where people come to chill and connect with other people, and it's just a cool place for you to hang out on campus. And it's available during the day and even after hours. And one of the key mandates, like I mentioned before, is one of the programming that we do, one of the key mandates of in our office is to represent the general interest of all Black students. So for us, we understand the peculiarity of our students being a key member of a visible minority group, and we are committed, to support you. So if you find yourself in any situation on campus, if you need someone to sort of speak up for you or someone to make a strong case for you, please come to us. Please free to reach out to us. And that's one of our key mandates. And of course, also, we create opportunity for new and current students to meet and interact with professors. So one of the things that we do is we create a safe space where Black students from different cultural background can come together and interact. And this picture that you are seeing on my screen is an event that we had last year. This is the welcome event for all Black students. So it's the Black student meet and mix, and through this event, we get to share a meal with each other. Black students get an opportunity to meet and interact with their professors, with members of staff, and even other members of the campus community. So, and another event that we did recently is the welcome barbecue. This created an opportunity for current students and new students to also interact. And as you can see from this picture in my screen, these are students sitting in front of the roads, in front of roads, or that's the lawn. Uh, and one other key aspect of our work is that we also create uh, safe space, for students to share and explore their thoughts. So this is a brand new program that you will get to enjoy when you come on campus. It's a program that we are doing in collaboration with the Acadia Mental Health and Counseling Unit. Is Rooted Tuesdays, and it's an opportunity for Black students to come together to share and explore cultural connections. It's a safe space where students get to share and receive help in an environment that is non-discriminatory and non-threatening. Also, one key aspect of what we do in the Office of African Descent Student Opportunity and Success is that we celebrate Black culture and excellence. So one of our key events that we did this year is Black Excellence Gala, and it's the grand finale of our celebration for African Heritage Month in Canada. For those of you who are not in Canada right now, the month of February is dedicated to celebrate African heritage and African culture. So these are pictures from the event that we do. Uh, uh, Also, we have, apart from the Black Excellence Gala, we give opportunities for students to showcase their talent. So if you have singing talent, if you have, if you can perform, these are pictures from one of the events that we did, a talent show and karaoke. We provide opportunity for our students, to come together to share their talent with other campus members of the campus community. And of course, we create opportunities for students to interact with professors, with colleagues from different campus departments to talk about strategies to enhance, the academic excellence of our Black students. And on the left, you see a picture of a group of students. That is from an event that was done on campus. It's a painting event that the student put together, and we also equally support that. And also one of the key events that we do regularly, once at least once in a semester, is the men's barber shop, and this we have done in collaboration with the Wong International Centre. So we have free haircut services on campus. So when you come to Acadia, this is something also for you to enjoy. And apart from all of this, uh, our office also supports different club and societies that you might be part of. So we have in Acadia, we have the Black Student Association, we have the Acadia Caribbean Union, and we have the Sisters of Color. These clubs are they also work to support other students on campus, and we work closely in collaboration with all of these clubs. So I will encourage you, when you come, find one of these affinity group, and it's a welcome community for everyone. And also, uh, apart from some of these things that I've mentioned, we offer financial assistance for tutoring. So for students who are having challenges in a particular course, whether it is coding in computer science or calculus, if you need support and you can demonstrate that you have financial need, we can provide free tutoring services to support you. And also through our office, we work with students. So if you are looking for an opportunity, to volunteer and be part of an initiative that we are running, you're welcome to work with us. And we even have very limited paid opportunities for some of our students. And also, we also work to support students in applying for scholarships and bursaries. So if you're a Black student on campus and you find a scholarship that you think that you need support, we are more than happy, to help you review the application, provide letter of support, and give you the needed support that you need, to do all of this. Uh, and also, while we provide support throughout your journey in Acadia, we are also there to celebrate you when you do your graduation. As you can see in this picture, we have our Black graduating students wearing the beautiful kente clothes, and this is provided for free from our office. So ultimately, uh, we have a mandate, to support the personal and academic success of Black students in Acadia University. So when you come on campus, I'm more than happy, to chat with you, to interact with you, and to support your journey. Thank you very much. If this my email is on the screen. You can reach out to me. My office is in Rhodes Hall, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Thank you, Doton. Maybe we can save all the questions for the last part of the presentation, because right now I think we should move on and get Res Life started here.
Awesome. Thank you, Janet. I'm just going to share my screen here. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the Residence Live virtual open house. We are going to walk you through some details on how to apply for residence, some details around campus life, as well as the residence application procedure. Okay. So my name is Addie. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the coordinator of residence accommodations. Predominantly, I work with our booking system, StarRes, in my office, as well as launching the residence applications, room changes, all that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions at the end about residence applications and how to apply, how to get a room, all that stuff, I will be happy to answer those for you.
And my name is Jenna DeCare. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an RLC on campus and I kind of oversee all the residence buildings. I work closely with the Student Code of Conduct, as well as all of the resources on campus for everyone in their time here. So if you have any questions about what residence life is like, RAs, and how to get involved, I'm your person.
And then Shonda, if you wanted to introduce yourself as well too.
Hi, I'm Shonda. I'm sorry about my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. But I'm one of the off-campus housing advisors that works in Res Life. And essentially, like for off-campus housing advising, we essentially help students in supporting them in finding housing, or if you are a student that currently does live off campus, we do help you if you have any sort of issues with landlords or roommates or anything like that. And we just overall aim to have a strong off-campus community, just like how on campus we have a strong community as well.
Awesome. Okay, so here's a gorgeous picture of our campus. You can see all of the residence buildings in this picture. Some of them are easier to spot than others. I will point out that this Kroll Tower right here, this big tower, it probably has the best views on campus. So if you're someone looking for a gorgeous view out your window of Blomidon, the Kroll Tower would be a great place to live for that. So I'm going to continue on here with a little bit of a campus overview. On campus, we have about 11 housing options available, 11 different buildings with approximately 1,400 different beds. We have a mix of room types, so singles, deluxe singles, double rooms with a roommate, suites with a roommate, and lots of different choices. So something to kind of fit whatever you are looking for. Each building on campus does have a unique culture and atmosphere. Some are more social than others. Some are more quiet. Some are more first-year oriented buildings. And then on the other side of things, some are a little bit more mature. So if you're an older student coming to campus, there's a place on campus for you as well. Each of these buildings is only a 5 to 7 minute walk to class. So this is a great thing about our small campus, that you can get to class very, very quickly. We actually timed the longest walk on campus from one of our residences down to the BAC, and it was only 6.5 minutes this summer. So you can get everywhere on campus fairly quickly. And then I will also note that we are a 10-minute or less, depending on where you're walk to the town of Wolfville, which is a vibrant small town where Acadia is. There are lots of opportunities to get involved and participate in the community in Wolfville, as well as like some basics available. There's a bank, there's a pharmacy, there's a grocery store, and then some fun things as well too, like little shops, places to get coffee, restaurants, all that good stuff. Oh, and this is a picture of Whitman House, which is our building on campus for female and non-binary identifying students if they wanted to not live in a co-ed environment. So this is our one building on campus that is like that.
Yeah, some of our community features. So on campus, we have a lot of peer supports where students are able to participate in leadership opportunities that help them kind of get involved on campus. Some of these examples are our RA teams. So these are residence assistants. They're peers that live in each building and are trained to help provide direction and information about campus supports and Acadia life altogether. If you have questions about what Acadia provides or anything that you need while you're here, they're just down the hall from you, and we're well equipped with any information about kind of like university life. Aside from being knowledgeable about Acadia, RAs and RHAs also provide programming that's geared towards your guys' interests. So through floor meetings and social media, RAs gather ideas from students about celebration and activities that they'd like to see on campus, and then implement those for you right at home. Not only is there a lot to do on campus, but the town of Wolfville really loves to connect with our community. So they host things like our block party, and as well as other events and festivals that kind of like get you involved. So at the beginning of the year, if you meet your RAs in the RHA, they kind of help you with anything that you need. Make good relationships.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit more about the RA. So they're there to kind of foster and develop the community within their residences. They directly live with you guys, so they're kind of like your first point of contact, and they're really great friends with a lot of knowledge on Acadia campus. And then myself, which is an RLC, we are available 24/7 on call, and we're dedicated to providing you with any kind of extra support that you need that maybe your RAs as peers can't provide you. So we have an office here on campus that you can come visit, and we're always there to kind of dedicate ourselves to helping you in the wellness that you experience.
Great. Okay, so we have some themed communities on campus. The Chipman Living Learning Community is a building on campus that is kind of the hub for all of these communities, but we also have other buildings on campus that take part in these communities. For example, like 5th floor in Seminary is the music enthusiast community, which has like programming geared toward people who love music, whether you're a musician yourself or just an appreciator. So this is a really good way to get involved on campus and also to kind of bond and meet like-minded peers. These communities listed on here are the communities we offered this year. So for 2024, 2025. So if you are someone that is coming in January 2025, then these will be the communities available to you. If you are interested in living in one of these, you also are able to view these communities and the rooms that are available in them on the residence portal. So once you go on and have access to choose your room, then you can filter for the creative corridor, for example, and see that there are a couple rooms available in the creative corridor, and then you can go ahead and book one of those rooms if you would like to. And it's a good way for students to meet like-minded peers, engage in like non-academic interests, and then the RAs, as Jenna was speaking about, do targeted programming and themed programming for these communities. So you know that there'll be programs and activities that you like to participate in. Okay, so I have some important dates listed here for you folks. I'm not sure if the bulk of you are coming in January 2025, or if you're coming. So I've kind of touched on information from both. So I will highlight that residence applications for next year, fall 2025, winter 2026, are now open. They opened yesterday. And so at this point in the application, you are able to accept your offer of admissions to Acadia and then proceed with the residence application. It's not too long at the moment. It asks you some basic personal questions, like some information, as well as your building preference that you can fill out. And then you pay your residence confirmation deposit to kind of complete that part of the application. So that's all available now, and you are able to complete that once you accept your offer to Acadia. That being said, the winter 2025 applications are not yet available. I have a projected date of November 6th, so just a couple weeks for those to come out, and those would be for students that are traveling to campus for January 2025. So that's like if you deferred from this term, fall term, or if you're joining us in January, these are the applications that you should be looking out for, and they will be available on the 6th of November via your residence portal. So this application process will look a little bit different just because we already have students on campus. So if you apply on November 6th for the winter only application, you'll be asked to specify your building choice. You probably give like 3 or 4 choices for building, and then your room type choice. So if you would like to live in a double room with a roommate, if you would like to live in a regular single room or a deluxe single room or a single en suite, and we'll probably ask you to like rank 3 room type choices as well too. And then someone from my office, which will probably be me, will go through and place you in a room that looks like would match based on your choices available. And just the reason we do this a little bit differently is because we already have students living on campus. So it's easy for us to place you in appropriate spaces. And if it's necessary to match you with a roommate that works, and like we know the spaces that are available. So that is what it'll look like for winter only 2025. Keep an eye on your residence portal if you're looking for that. And you also, if you want to be emailed when this application is live, then please feel free to like drop your email in the chat, and I will keep a list of folks to email for winter only 2025 when it becomes available, because it's kind of a short time frame. And then lastly, if you're coming for September 2025, our room selection will happen in May. And I guess that, works too if you come in January and then you want to live in residence again. So the room selection will happen in May. And I have a little bit more information about that on this next slide here. Oh, and this is a picture of what the residence portal looks like. So if you're trying to find it, and you're wondering if you're on the right spot, this is it. You click this blue button to continue to log in, and you just use your Acadia credentials to log into there. Okay, so this is a little bit of information about room selection May 2025. First, you accept your offer of admissions to Acadia. You have to accept this offer and pay your admissions deposit before you're able to apply for residence. You then have access to open up your Acadia network account, which is like your email address and all that stuff that you will use to log on to your Acadia related accounts, which includes your housing portal. So once that is done, you're able to log into the student housing portal and complete the application. You can find this in your admissions portal under like the next steps tab. It'll say like that you can move on and apply for residence. So right now you can complete the application and pay your residence deposit. Then later on, for everyone, will reach out again and say, now it's time to log on and do the roommate part of your residence application. So you'll do your roommate profile and match with a roommate if you choose to live in a double room, which we definitely recommend matching with a roommate and finding someone who is a good match for you through this roommate matching tool if you're going to live in a double. And then room selection will open in May 2025. So our room selection process is completely student-led. And students are able to self-select into the room of their choice. So everyone is assigned a time slot based on when they do this application. So it's kind of first come, first serve. Folks who do their application earlier will have an earlier time slot. So if you know you're coming to Acadia and you know you want to live in residence, I would recommend doing this application as soon as possible. And then knowing then you'll have a larger choice and larger selection of buildings and room types available. So right now is a really, really great time to apply for residence for next year. It's super early. I think we've only had like 10 applicants so far. So you'd be really ahead of the game if you were applying this week. And then lastly, if, we don't plan for this, but if you do not get the room of your choice, we do have wait lists that run throughout the summer available on the residence portal as well. You can join those once you finish and you pick your room and you're like, oh my gosh, I really wanted a single in another building, then you can join a wait list for that as well too. And then lastly, right before you move on in September, we will ask you to select a meal plan through the residence portal again. So it'll probably be like minimum 4 times you log into the residence portal before you arrive here in September. So you'll get used to it and you'll get used to finding it. So that's that. And then I will move on here. If you wanted to contact me about some application questions or whatever, Feel free to jot down my email here. This is the general residence life at Acadia U email where you can send any kind of general inquiries, but you can also send those to me as well. And then I have two of my colleagues here, which Brent is running the like living learning community. So if you had any questions about that or programming on campus, Brent is out of the office for a couple weeks. So that's why we have Jenna here giving us a hand. And then Olivia down here at the bottom is responsible for the student code of conduct, but Jenna could absolutely answer some of those questions as well too if you have any at the end. Oh, and lastly, we have an Instagram. We're trying to be more active on Instagram, post updates almost every day. So if you are looking to come to Acadia, looking for some more information about residents, want to see what we have going on, absolutely give our Instagram a follow. We're posting like building profiles as well as room tours. So some examples of pictures of rooms that we have on campus to kind of see what you might be looking for. There is a really great picture of the view from Kroll Tower if you're curious from up on a lounge on 13th floor. So definitely go check that out. And we will also be posting like updates for applications, room selection, all that stuff on there too. Okay, I'm gonna pass it over to Shonda and just let me know when you want me to move to the next slide.
Thank you so much, Addie. So we can move on to the next slide, talking about what we do as off-campus housing advisors. So I kind of talked about it in the beginning, where for off-campus housing, we basically kind of serve as like a support for any students that are looking for housing off campus. And we also assist them if they do have any sort of discrepancies when it comes to their landlords or any sort of roommates. I talked a little bit in the beginning about how for off-campus housing, one of the things that we really wanted to do was to be able to grow our off-campus community and also keep them in the loop of what's happening on campus as well. One of the things that we are starting to do, hopefully really soon, is sending out some newsletters. And with the newsletters, it will just help you to keep track of any events that were happening for off-campus students, whether that be within the town of Wolfville or on campus. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. Yeah, and the next one after that. Okay, so who are we? So I am actually just one of the 4 advisors for off-campus housing. We have our supervisor, who's Mary Kay. She's absolutely amazing. And we have 2 other team members, AJ and Cameron. We are here through the week, Monday through Friday. And essentially, for a little bit more about us, we are students. We do have our busy schedules. So we definitely have some experience when it comes to university life and students and having to just live off campus just within the town of Wolfville. And so with that, we are a little bit familiar when it comes to the bylaws and housing acts and any of the resources that will be available to students. So if you are a little bit nervous of moving off campus for the first time, we have been in your shoes and we just want to be able to assist you in the best way possible. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to email us at offcampushousing@acadiau.ca. And we'll move on to the next slide, where we'll be talking about searching for housing. So right now, housing is a little bit crazy in terms of trying to find some place to live. But one of the things that we want to do is just to provide you with a little bit more detail as to the whole process of when it comes to renting or just looking for a roommate or just dealing with landlords in general. So the best way to look for an apartment is just to keep on top of it, constantly looking. Like I said before, off-campus housing is super popular. So when listings usually go up, it is really important to be able to contact the landlord right there and then as quickly as possible. And it's best to check daily. There really isn't like a specific time of year when landlords post. You do have some sporadic listings throughout the semester, so we do encourage you to keep track of that. Another thing to do is that if you do reach out to a landlord, we want you to be able to be as open and as detailed as possible when it comes to looking for a landlord. You want to be able to let them know, tell them a little bit about yourself, be able to advocate for yourself and say why you know you're the best tenant to rent that apartment. And another thing that we want to educate you guys on is just the whole process of leasing. So a lease essentially is a document, a signed document that where usually for a fixed amount of time, sometimes month to month, or usually for a year. This is when you agree to stay within your building or within that apartment, and they do offer you housing and other sort of amenities that come with your apartment as well. Along with leasing, you also have the option of subleasing. I know for some people, they do go back home in the summertime. And so one of the things that has become popular as well is that students do rent out their apartment to other students or visitors who will be staying in the Wolfville area for the summer. And subleasing is basically an agreement between you as the primary renter and the person that you are leasing to. When you are signing your lease, it is imperative if you are planning on subleasing throughout the summer or any other season within the school year, it is important to be able to ask your landlord their policies on subleasing. Another thing that we want to have you guys consider when it comes to looking for an apartment is location. Um, the Wolfville area, when it comes to transportation, we do have our busing system, but it is not as frequent compared to some of the bigger cities like Halifax, where the bus may come every 15 minutes. The bus comes like once every hour or so here throughout the week. And so it will be a little bit cumbersome if you are planning to live a little bit further away. If you do have a car, then living further away is an option in nearby areas like Kentville or New Minas. However, if you are a student, and it's mostly sometimes international students, if you know you do not have transportation, it's best to kind of look for a place that is within close proximity to the campus. Another thing to consider as well is budget. Pricing is a little bit crazy. But usually, if you do go through a rental agency or if you talk to a landlord, sometimes you are able to negotiate different prices. But usually, I would say around the Wolfville area, you do have a good range where you can find something within your budget. One thing that has been popular as well is that you do have houses within the area where you are able to rent a private room. And essentially, you would be living with other students within that house, and you'll be sharing all of like your common spaces, bathrooms and things like that, but you would have your own private bedroom. And usually that tends to be like on the more cheaper side of things when it comes to renting. And another thing is also personal preference. You do have some people that prefer to live alone. You do have some people who, sorry, are not really sure what to look for when it comes to renting, but we do, one of the advice that I give people is that, you know, if you know yourself, if you know you can't take noise, if you know that you're someone who may be a smoker, who may not be a smoker, if you have someone that has cats or doesn't like pets or anything like that, all those are things to actually mention in your initial message when it comes to getting in contact with the landlord. And we'll go on to our next slide where we'll talk about where can I find listings. So for the off-campus housing department, we do have a website on Acadia where we do give you a list of websites where most of the listings are found for students. And usually there are ads posted as well. A popular place is Facebook Marketplace, where you do have an Acadia housing group. And there you would have students who may be posting and looking for roommates. You may have students who are looking to sublet. You may have students or landlords there that are posting for listings that they have available. And one of the things, if you are just a little bit unsure of where to go or how to even navigate looking on the websites, you can always email us. As of right now, we do have a list of available listings that we go through on a weekly basis. And basically we actually do the searching and we put it in a Excel spreadsheet. And if you do have any inquiries, we would just send you the spreadsheet. And you can have like a little bit of a condensed list as to what the available listings are, how many bedrooms, what the pricing is, what utilities are included. And with looking for listings, I will say that scamming has also become a very big thing when it comes to searching for housing. Um, Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace, although they are popular, they are two of the more common places where scamming happens, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a later slide. But these websites here are typically more of the standard websites where listings are posted. Another thing that is really good is that we have a rental agency on Main Street called J.A. McKay Rentals, and we have a lot of other landlords where you can submit an application where you saying that you're a student and you're looking for housing, and a lot of the times they would come to you with listings already put in place, and that way you can kind of have a little bit of reassurance that because you're going through an actual realtor, you do have some confidence that it's not really a scam and that I can trust these people and that I know that I'm in good hands. And we can move on to our next slide. We're basically going to be talking about viewing services. We do have a viewing services that we started recently where if you do tend to contact someone like on Facebook Marketplace or HappyPad or Kijiji, and you aren't 100% sure as to whether or not you want to rent that particular place or if you're uncomfortable going to view it, one of the things that you can do is email us and let us know that you're a student and you may feel a little bit uncomfortable or you don't have the time to go and view an apartment. Can you view it on our behalf? And we have done that recently, especially at the beginning of the semester. So what we would do is that we would drive to wherever that specific address is, and we would take pictures and videos of the place for you, and we would view it on your behalf. One of the things that we do encourage for you to do is let the landlord know ahead of time and let us know ahead of time so that we can plan our schedules around going to view the apartment for you. The next one is dealing with conflict. You do have some landlords that are a bit sketchy when it comes to certain rules and standards and bylaws. And one of the things that in Nova Scotia, you do have something called the Tenancy Act and the bylaws within Wolfville. And that basically is a set of rules to protect you as the renter and also the property owner. And with the Tenancy Act and the bylaws, they're basically like a set of guidelines that hold both parties accountable to ensure like everyone has a clean and peaceful living situation. Often you do have some disputes sometimes within the residence if you have a roommate and also with the landlord as well. And we always encourage our students to reference the Tenancy Act so they are aware of their rights and also the Wolfville bylaws to help resolve any issues that they may be having with their landlord. And I think that's all I wanted to cover on dealing with conflict. And we can move on to tips for talking with landlords. When you do reach out in your initial message, the best thing to do is to introduce yourself, show that you have some interest, a desire to actually rent the place that they have listed. And always make sure to respond to messages as quickly as possible. Landlords get hundreds and hundreds of messages each and every day from people looking to rent. Landlords will not reach out to you as the student or as the renter, so it is important for you to be able to be on top of answering them back and also reaching out to them. Just a few side notes, when you are mentioning things, try not to share too much personal information or especially like financial information or anything with like date of birth, or if you do plan on working in Canada, SIN number. Just a heads up, you're not to give your SIN number to anyone except your employer. So if they ask for any sort of personal information, please do not give it to them. Do not respond to automated messages. It kind of loses the ability to actually connect with the landlord. And once you do provide more of a heartfelt message or anything like that, it does kind of increase your chances of the landlord wanting to actually give you the place to rent and actually make an agreement. And always make sure to read the listing to see what is involved or to see what is included in renting. Some of the things that people tend to ask about is utilities, and landlords, majority of the time, put that information in the initial listing. So always make sure that if there's something there that is critical for you to have or critical that you need within your apartment, make sure that it's not in the initial listing before you go and ask the landlord as well. And honestly, try not to make a generic post about looking for accommodations. We do have some people that do that. We encourage them not to, because 9 times out of 10, landlords won't reach out. If anything, we have had landlords reach out to us as the off-campus housing department where they do say that, we have a place to rent and we want you guys to advertise it for us or let students know that they're willing to actually put this listing up. And from there, that's kind of how that happens. But a landlord won't reach out to you unless you reach out to them first. And next thing, I kind of touched on it beforehand, where we're talking about rental scams. It has become a little bit of an issue, and for students, even now, they do come to us when they're a little bit unsure. I actually have a little bit of an example later on in the slides, but one thing that we don't want you guys to do is send any money before you view the listing. If they are insistent on gaining any sort of personal information or asking for funds prior to you viewing the place or prior to even asking or answering your questions, that is a sign that you should not trust them. Also check the addresses in the listings, usually on Google Maps or any other sort of application. This kind of gives you a heads up as to whether the place you're renting is actually legitimate or not. Always request a viewing. That's the number one thing, because sometimes what they advertise on the internet is not what you're actually getting. And if you are a little bit unsure, just reach out to us as the off-campus housing department, and we'll do our best to help guide you along the process of this is what a scam looks like, this is what a scam doesn't look like, and we'll try to help you in the best way possible. And if you have been scammed, we want you guys to reach out to us as soon as possible. Report it and also contact your bank, because where they have taken your money, they do have access to your account information, especially if you go through pre-authorized payment. So just take those precautionary steps and have those things in place for if you do in the event end up getting scammed. So on the next slide is a little bit of a example where we have a real life example of this happening to a student where the landlord was a little bit hesitant in giving them the address or confirming the address. And the landlord is saying, like, it's refundable when it comes to putting down the security deposit. If they use language like it's refundable, it's not really a guarantee when it comes to putting down those security deposits. So we do encourage you all to look out for that, and just look up the wording. And if you're unsure, bring it to us and we'll let you know whether or not that person is trying to scam you. And in the next slide, we're actually going to look at another situation where the pictures that were advertised on the website does not match the actual address. If you look at the windows, this is actually a house near Acadia. If you look at the windows on the outside compared to how the living space is on the inside, they do not match. And I can tell you, I walk past this house every day and I know that house doesn't have a basement. So if you look at those little key things, it can kind of give you an inkling as to whether or not this place is legitimate rental or legitimate listing. And from there, you can kind of just make your decision as to whether or not you would want to move on. And to wrap things up, on our last slide, check out our website. If you type in Google Off-Campus Housing Acadia, we're literally the first link that pops up. And on there, we do have a lot of tips and tricks when it comes to renting within the town of Wolfville. We do have a condensed version of the Tenancy Act on there as well, just where the language is a little bit more comprehensible, especially if English is not your first language. We have condensed it in a way where it's easy to understand. You can follow us on our Instagram at Off Campus Acadia. And also, I wanted to remind you that we do have an upcoming webinar on tenant rights. I'm not 100% sure of the date, but it's coming soon. But just keep an eye on your Acadia email. And that about wraps things up for the Off Campus Housing Department.